You know what I love about Bubba Wallace? Bubba don't take no shit.
He definitely doesn't.
Suarez might have had a chip on both shoulders because he was driving like a pissed off teenager from fucking lap one.
If they're dumb enough to do it, I think let them do it. It's entertainment, and they're the dickheads that are going to end up with bent race cars. I didn't actually know the Cup Series cars run the same wheels as our Gen 3 cars.
First thing I saw when I saw this happen to Hamlin, Scott for sure is going to want to talk about wheels tonight.
It pisses me off a little bit because it's a 36-round championship they race every week. So 6 road courses doesn't seem like too many.
Oh no! He's in the fence! The boat's in the fence! Oh, in the fence! Oh, unbelievable!
Are you ready?
It's born ready, Scott.
Take it away.
Sound check.
Sound check.
It's loud.
You always had some grunt that time. We have turned the headphones up. We're back, Barber. 99. We are nearly at the Magic Hundy. Episode 99, that is.
Haters would say that we weren't going to make it, but I reckon we might get to the big 100, mate.
We'll see if you fuck it up this week. We might be, you might be in trouble. But we're back, mate. Well, NASCAR is back.
Yeah, how good.
We're back at Bowman Gray last year. I loved the race. It's one that, again, watching it, I want to get to. But Bowman Gray, the clash was on. No real fan base there because it was snowed out and delayed for the majority of the week. Up until Thursday, they ran the race.
It was.
Literally finished today, and we are recording the podcast straight after the race. And we're going to put it out for everyone Friday morning, Australia time.
Beautiful.
Everyone should wake up. In America, well, if you wake up around lunchtime or 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you'll probably get it, depending on how hard you work tonight, mate. Exactly. But Bowman Gray, mate, what do you think of the race? Recap.
Lot to unpack in that race. As you said, mate, bit of a delay. We thought we were going to be watching it on Tuesday, Melbourne time, and then it blew out to Thursday with the snow delays. They had, even some of the Cup drivers went down and helped shovel snow off the stand so they could get people in there. It was bit of a delay, which is unusual because in Australia, they would just cancel the event, right? If something like they're not going to go, oh, we'll do it midweek. It's all good.
Yeah, exactly. In Australia, it's like when we're in Daytona and we said, look, the thunderstorms are coming. Like, when are we going to run this thing? And, oh, we'll run it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we still run the race.
Yeah, midnight. So that is the very cool thing about NASCAR and American sports. It's like, if it's scheduled, it'll happen. Just don't know when.
100%. I mean, we text Shane before. So he texted us this morning and said, I've made the show, which is cool. We're like, congrats, mate. And I said, is the show happening? He said, yeah, I think so. Like, there's still a chance of snow, but we'll see, I guess. So it's funny that they delayed it. I think Monday morning, to be honest, was the first morning we were meant to watch it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is Thursday when the race actually happened. And I think that, there was a chance right up until the show was on that it still might not. But, yeah, credit NASCAR, did a good job. I saw that who was the driver that was up in the stands earlier in the week actually helping him shovel snow?
Yeah.
He's a local. Dylan?
Yeah.
Austin Dillon?
Yeah, and then also, who punched on with Kyle Busch? I've had an actual blank. Little guy drives a NASCAR. Oh, it's doing my head in. We know him. Wears colourful board shorts all the time. You know him.
What?
Oh, it's going to come to me now.
Wears colourful board shorts.
Give me 2 seconds. I'm going through the results because actually, might not. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Did he make the show?
Yeah. No.
He didn't make the show, and he was there shoveling. That'll make the bloopers. Was shoveling snow like a champion, and he didn't make the show. So
I don't think he made the show.
No, I think you're right. So Stenhouse Jr. was the one that I saw there.
That's who I saw as well, I think. So yeah, awesome to see all hands on deck to get the show on the road so that the fans had something to watch. Because this has felt like the longest off season.
Yeah, it has.
And it has definitely settled me down because we've still got a little way until the supercars are on, another couple of weeks. Shout out, I'm actually launching the supercar on Saturday as well here in Australia. We've got Geelong, the new Red Bull Empire Racing Ford. 11 a.m. is when the covers are coming off down at the port side in Geelong. So if you are around, check socials, head on down, and there'll be plenty of things to do. But yeah, looking forward to that. And I haven't actually seen the livery either. I've held out this time. I normally, you look at photos and things, but I've held out as well because I want the first time I see it to be with everyone else as well because I'm very excited.
Hopefully you like it, otherwise we'll be able to tell.
Yeah. Well, Marcus Ambrose once, we pulled the covers off. Him and I drove together at Dick Johnson Racing here in Brisbane and pulled the covers off, live show, live crowd, live audience, peeled it back and he went, oh, it looks like shit. And everyone went from clapping to, it does. That's pretty shit, doesn't it? And he got in so much trouble.
Sponsors would have been pumped.
Yeah, it was a Western Star livery, I think. And it didn't go down well. Anyway, back on NASCAR, Ryan Preece. He led 46 laps, and he's the first since Jeff Gordon, Denny Hamlin to win his first Cup Series race at Bowman Gray, the Clash. At Bowman Gray.
At the Clash, right?
I think they only, and they say, sorry, not the first one, not first
Before they
Cup
win
Series win, the first race they get in the
without points
in the big dogs category without being part of the Cup Series championship. So first non-championship win has come at Bowman Gray in the Clash for him.
Pretty good company to be on a list with Jeff Gordon and Denny.
Yeah, I mean, they went on to do some decent things, so hopefully the trend goes in the same direction for him, because I liked the story. I heard he mortgaged his house, took out bank loan, really went all in on himself, and I think that's why he saw the emotion when he won, crying. Yeah. He couldn't stop dropping the F-bomb.
No.
I mean, we're clearly against swearing on this show, so...
Yeah. I thought that was funny. I think the second word he said was it was fucked or something. And then
he said before they even interviewed him, he was saying the word like 3 or 4 times, and I thought, geez, maybe he doesn't know he's on camera yet. And then it was just like, that was fucking brilliant, and didn't even apologise. Just carried on. He's obviously just a pretty laid back, relaxed guy, and that's how he is. So I thought it was an authentic interview. Yeah, high emotion, and it clearly meant a lot to him, because I think when it is a challenge, like I think he said he was expecting to go back to his hometown and get a real job only a couple of years ago. I think year before last, he said, I thought I was going back to Connecticut, I think he said, and was going to be running a real job rather than rolling around Bowman Gray winning a race. So
yeah, good to see
cool.
Yeah, I agree with you, mate. It was cool to see the emotion. Because you don't see that a lot anymore, especially from professional athletes, because they get so used to it. Yeah. So that was really cool. And yeah, I see socials have lit up with a few of the old school drivers like Mark Martin and stuff coming out saying awesome to see him get a win, because he still works on his car. He's obviously pretty hands-on, and which again is rare this day and age with modern day race car drivers. So good on you, Ryan Preece. Well done, mate. And RFK, I've got to say, mate, last year had real glimpses of speed. Yeah. And between all of them, they've kind of were there, and then 2-3 laps to go, something would happen and they'd miss out. And so hopefully for RFK, that's signs of things to come. Yeah. Because they've kind of been on the verge there a little bit.
It's just such a competitive championship, isn't it? It's so hard to...
One thing that wasn't that much of a surprise was JGR and Hendricks were up the front for quali. Like that sort of seems to have rolled out, business as usual. The top 2 teams kind of hit the ground, which you would expect, hit the ground running.
It did surprise me that Kyle Larson faded as fast as he did, considering William Byron was there right to the end. I mean, he had moments throughout the race where William Byron was up and down, but right at the end of the race, he was on, and it just surprised me. I think that Larson was so quick in the first 5 laps, led for quite a bit of the start of the race, but then faded as fast as he took the lead off the first restart.
He was dominant in the dry, and then as soon as all that sort of wet weather and all that sort of stuff came in, it just surprised me, mate, too. Yeah. It was good that it rained, because if it didn't, it would have been interesting, because the snow was starting to melt, and I don't know if you saw the water was going to start to run across the... So they probably got away with that a little bit, NASCAR, that it actually just rained, and then they could just make a decision to go, yep, we're going wet tyres.
Yep. I was actually surprised that the ice melted as fast as it did start to run down the track at the start of the race. I know there was a big... They really buried it behind the wall, but I think it was like 30 degrees Fahrenheit there or something ridiculous. Well, and it was starting to run down the track pretty fast when they brought the first caution out for it.
I just assumed because the cars were running around that heated stuff up, and it probably didn't surprise me. Well, yeah, and then it goes into night. It got colder anyway. It rained, so they got lucky with that. But
it was definitely a feel-good race, though, wasn't it? I mean, I did like seeing everyone pull up alongside Ryan Preece at the end as well and giving him a thumbs up. Yeah, I think most drivers know each other's story as well. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting for Keselowski this year for RFK. Yeah, I liked as well. They said, why'd you pick him? It's like, all he wants to do is win races, and we can afford him.
Yeah. I saw something came out recently on a few Cup drivers, their salaries, and yeah, Preece and the RFK guys were, obviously Brad wasn't because he's an owner, but the other 2 were down there in the list, and, good on people like that. Sometimes they do work that bit harder. Obviously he has put in the work.
I saw, talking salaries, I saw an interview with Justin Marks was on Paul Tracy's podcast. Oh, yeah. And he said he signed Shane pretty early. Once he started banking those road courses, he thought, fuck, I don't want him to go anywhere else. And he said, so put my hand in my pocket and signed him to a long-term deal, because I don't want anyone else to. So, yeah, I think Shane could be the next sponsor on the podcast, going to have to hit him up, because it sounds like he's rolling in it now.
Well, when we were there last time, that was the week he did his deal. He got extended.
It was too.
We should have asked him how much, and we could have known how much we can hit him up for. But
yeah, we could have dropped it as an exclusive in the pod. We won't tell anyone, I swear. Just whoever's listening to the podcast.
You trust us.
But when the water did start to come in, that didn't surprise me they pulled the caution out because you're on the slicks. But one thing I want to get into the podcast, and we will once we go over the format and a few other things, but I want to get everyone thinking right now about what did you guys all think about how long it took them to go racing when it started to rain or the snow, the sleet started to come in. They went to wets and they sat around picking their nose for an hour before they went racing. You got great wets. The track was wet, yes, but the average speed I'd written here on our very first page of notes for everyone to have a think about, average speed of the race was 21 miles per hour because of all the safety cars, but the top speed is only 64 miles per hour on that track.
Yeah, wow.
So we'll break down what we thought of the wet, but pop in the comment section straight away what you guys all thought of the amount of time we sat there waiting to go racing.
There was 17 cautions too, which was a record for the clash, mate.
Fuck, that's
so
ridiculous.
that's why I think the average speed was 21 mile per hour. There's a lot of time rolling around, and
it is still crazy to think though the top speed on the track is only 64 mile an hour. So it's not actually that low for the average anyway.
I mean, I'll drive home at that speed tonight.
You will.
110 zone. So
you could pretty much be a NASCAR driver. So format, just quickly, I wanted to run over this because it's interesting for our listeners that do tune in on supercars and might only be sort of passive listeners, viewers of NASCAR, but this is an interesting one. It's a non-championship round. It's really just to kick the season off for something exciting and unique. It's in the 30s was the first time they switched this. It's a track and field oval they've actually turned into tarmac and created a race round in 1930. I think was the first year they did that. Right. Inside it was originally built for a football stadium.
Yep.
And yeah, it was literally just the track and field course around the outside. They decided to tarmac and put a car race on. So the walls aren't smooth around the outside. They jut out and everything. And the reason for that is they don't want to change the old grandstand. The grandstand that used to be there to watch the football and track and field is still the same one they had back then. And they just build walls around it so the drivers need to drive accordingly.
I love that. It's like, how often do we change things here? It's like, oh, it's dangerous. It's like if you put a wall there, they'll avoid it or they'll hit the wall, but work it out.
Even when they're waiting to go racing, I was like, the walls are like 90-degree angles to the drivers coming out of, not quite that bad, but, they come out of, I think it's turn 2.
Yeah.
And the thing is like pointing at them and they've got to drive around it. But it is an interesting weekend. So if you are next year struggling without Motorsport and the first round hopefully is Bowman again, tune into the clash because it was exciting. But the format's unique for this one. So it's 2 8-minute practices, which is actually more than they usually get. They often don't even get that in NASCAR.
And it's a 15, 14-second lap, so you can actually bank a few laps in an 8-minute session.
Yeah, exactly. Group qualifying, so they split the field just because the track is so small. The drivers had 4 minutes to set a time in qualifying, and the top 20 fastest drivers from qualifying automatically advance into Wednesday's 200-lap main event, which obviously Thursday morning here. Yep. The top 2 finishers in the 75-lap last chance qualifier also transfer to the main event, making up starting positions of 21st and 22nd. Now, there are 23 starters, so the 23rd position goes to the final starter goes to the highest driver in the 2025 final championship standings who didn't transfer from the last chance qualifier.
And they obviously do that. So let's say Kyle Larson, who won the championship last year, has a shocker.
Yep.
They still want the champion in the race or the highest, finishing person.
Yep.
So
which was Alex Bowman.
Yeah. So
I think it's a great idea. I actually really like the format. It's a little bit like I like how short sharp it is. A little bit like a speedway night.
Yeah.
That sort of atmosphere is what it looks like as well.
Yeah. So 38 of them rolled up. A few of them got sent home. Imagine going to the first round of the year. I know it's not points and not making the show. That'd be a shit way to start the year, wouldn't it?
I really wanted to see Corey LaJoie make it in.
I was spewing. He missed out on the last lap.
Yeah.
Cindric pipped him for it.
Yeah.
Felt for him on that, but what do you expect? He hasn't driven Cup for a little while, and he's jumped in and he was mixing it up. So I'm sure he'd be relatively happy with his. He obviously wanted to make the show, but
I think so. He only missed out by one spot as well.
In qual, yeah.
So it was in the last chance qualifier. Austin Cindric was door to door with him for the last few laps of the race, and for second, because first and second in the last chance goes through. And Cindric was under the inside and ran him a little high and got the move done, and he advanced, and Corey didn't. So, and for those that don't know, Corey isn't full time in the Cup Series anymore, but Brad Keselowski, isn't it? With the injury at the moment, broken leg.
Yeah.
So he's in, and I think it sounds like Corey's going to be preparing for Daytona as well. So there was talk that Brad said, I'm going to be back for Daytona. I think it's unlikely by the sounds of it because of the way Corey was talking. So
nothing against Brad K, but I hope Corey gets to do Daytona.
Yeah,
because it's a great car, like the team, good team. It's just nice for him to have a shot in a decent rig.
Yeah, definitely.
See what he can do.
Friend of the show in some regards too, mate. Went on in their show stacking pennies, and they were good to us while we're over there looking after us. So hopefully, yeah, he has a good run. Now, qualifying. Do we want to quickly just nut out who was fastest? No surprises there, really.
Should we just roll the top 10?
I think so.
So we had Kyle Larson. So he's started off where he finished, number one. So it was great. William Byron, Hendricks rolled out fast with both their cars. Ty Gibbs was the fastest of the JGR cars, followed by Chase Briscoe, Christopher Bell, Denny Hamlin. So you're getting a bit of a feel here for teammates and teams that are dominant straight off the hauler. Bubba Wallace, Chris Buescher, another RFK car. Ross Chastain was 9th, and then Tyler Reddick in 10th.
Yeah. And then for people this side of the ditch, P17 was Shane.
Yep.
So he made it in, not comfortably, but pretty comfortably, really, given 21 go through.
So Ryan Preece, who won the race, actually qualified 18th.
Yeah, so 17 and 18 were actually running 1-2 in the closing stage of the race.
Yeah, God. Doesn't that annoy you if you're Shane?
Connor did well as well. He made the show, 19th.
He did.
Daniel Suarez, that was an interesting one, actually, all day. He was, I heard Shane's radio, he was into the back of him and crashing into him, and he said it was funny. He's like, maybe he's just running into me now that we're not teammates, he's allowed to.
It did look like, I was watching, especially early on when they were getting into it, it did look like...
He doesn't like him.
I thought there may have been a little bit of tension here.
That's what it looked like to me too.
It just had that feel, looked like, I know in the post-race, and we're going to talk about it, there was a few, Suarez kind of was a bit of a pinata out there. He was getting hit by everyone by the looks of it. And but he only seemed to have a problem with Shane in the post-race interviews, that he felt like Shane went too far and gave him more than what he dished back to him. So,
Yeah.
maybe there's a bit of feeling there, maybe not. We'll speculate. We'll say there is.
Yeah, we might as well speculate. That's what we're here for. But I don't know. I don't even know how he felt about Shane when they were teammates. I'm not sure that Suarez was overly stoked in at Trackhouse anyway. So
I don't think he was really pumped with that whole environment by the sounds of it.
So it is, seeing that in the first round was funny. What do you think of, actually, before we move on? Because I think Suarez was the one that pissed SVG off, but then Cindric looked like the innocent bystander that just copped Shane's anger. Because he spun Cindric.
Yeah.
But I don't, and then he got on the radio and said, Suarez has been crashing into me and I'm just fucking over it. But I'm like, well, you just turned Cindric, poor bloke.
I feel like poor little Austin might have just been the first car he came across while the bit of steam under the helmet. But yeah, no, I think he just sort of sent Austin there. So I'm sure Shane will fire him a text and say, sorry, mate. But, I felt for Austin on that because he had nothing to do with it. You know, and yeah, as you say, Shane's like blowing up on the radio.
About someone else after you just turned poor Cindric.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of an odd one.
Hey, Scotty. You know how our hunters are always trying to watch races from all over the world, Japan, Europe, USA, but they get that annoying pop-up saying this content isn't available in your region?
Mate, tell me about it.
Well, imagine if they could watch any race they wanted anywhere in the world without any dodgy pop-ups or any buffering.
Well, it's funny you say that, actually. We have a brand new partner on the show who's built exactly for that, NordVPN.
Oh, here we go. Tell me more.
We've actually been using NordVPN whilst we've been on the road creating the content for everyone. It keeps your data safe when you're on those dodgy motel Wi-Fi networks. It hides your location, and it also stops those dodgy ads following you around when you Google something just once.
So if you love your racing like us, or you just want to keep what you do online your own business, grab NordVPN. It's fast, secure, ridiculously easy. Even Scotty figured it out.
Yeah, righto, mate. Well, if you want to get the best deal on your NordVPN plan, head to nordvpn.com/Apex Hunters. Our link will actually get you 4 additional months on top of a 2-year plan. And don't stress, there's a Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. So I will pop the link to Nord's website in the description of this podcast.
Sort your online life out, stay safe, and stream like a hunter.
Now, Briscoe is my guy. Going for him this year in the championship. I was speaking to James Small the other day, and he's very excited. So James is Chase's crew chief, and was on the show last year. If you haven't seen that episode, go back and have a look at that. But I think they're really looking forward to this championship format. And again, like straight away, Chase has started pretty strong. But it's funny, you look at the order, and it's still very much like drivers don't remember and forget. You put them in a good car, they do well, and it always looks like the same teams straight away start the season in the way they finish.
Yeah, and it's probably not a surprise because the big teams usually have great people, great resources, all that sort of stuff. But I tend to agree with you. I think Briscoe's going to be very strong this year, especially with the new format. I think that'll play into their hands.
Yeah.
other than the tyre failures, they were still a real chance last year down to that last race. But and had dominant speed. He had the most poles last year. There's no doubt he's fast. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But for Smalley, fingers crossed for him.
Yeah, because, I mean, even all night, he probably wasn't the fastest because Preece in the end really, I mean, he seemed pretty dominant, actually. When the track even started to dry out at the end, Preece was...
Come from second last
fastest,
to win it. Like, he was able to get through.
Yeah.
Able to keep it clean. It just looked like it's such a tight track. If you didn't watch the race, you just looked like he was able to really roll that mid speed.
Yeah.
Which is all the cars that were fast and making moves could just clear the brake, roll the mid.
Yep.
And get it V'd off and go, especially when it was wet. So
yeah, that was the first time when you were watching Larson struggle. Was he kept getting in the middle of the corner was so slow that he'd get moved out, and then they get under him on the exit, and then once he got stuck on the outside, it looked like he was just getting freight trained. And that you're right, it's the first sign you can see is they can't roll the speed in the middle of the corner.
Yeah, I really enjoyed watching it because you could read the move coming, but you also knew as the bloke on the outside, there's nothing they could really do.
I know. You'd be like, even if your spotter was like, mate, you need to get to the inside. I was actually thinking while the race was on, if someone said that to me in that moment, you're like, no shit.
I'm trying, but there's old mate here and old mate's trying here, and it's wet, and so it was actually you could see the moves coming, and I love the NASCAR drivers they just commit.
Yeah.
Like there's no half-assing moves. They're like, I'm rolling the brake off, I'm running him up high, I'm having a go.
Well, there's no penalties.
No, well, and why would you? It's called entertainment, mate.
It still blows me away. But, no penalties. We went to the pub before this, and you were saying to me, because I said, there's not a single penalty the whole race. And you did say, though, they're going to Daytona. Would you really want to wreck someone when that's your next race and you know they're going to settle the score? Because Daytona you don't want to wreck at.
No. And obviously Daytona means a lot more for them. Probably one of the biggest races on their schedule. So, yeah, I'm just saying if you're going to use someone up and you're potentially going to get payback the next week, I'd rather use someone up at Daytona and then cop a payback after that. I'm not going to use them up at Bowman Gray for an exhibition race.
Yeah.
And potentially get sent through the grandstand at Daytona at 300k an hour.
Yeah.
Or for the biggest race of the year. So,
yep.
I mean, you did say they were driving at 64 mile per hour. I'll take a shunt at 100k an hour versus 300 any day.
Yeah, exactly right. Who in the race? I mean, for me, Briscoe actually stood out as someone who was fast all day but didn't get the result. He just wasn't quick at the end. He fell fast. The last 5 or 10 laps, he just dropped right off. But he was someone for me, I thought he's going to be there. And again, so he probably was disappointing for me in the end. But the surprise that never came to fruition was, I think, like 30 laps to go. I was like, fucking Blaney's on again.
Yeah.
He came through. He was so fast at one point. I thought it was like last year.
The guy's just Teflon. Nothing sticks to him. How he is able to come from the rear to the front to the rear to the front and still have 4 wheels on the thing just make his way through the field without tearing the car to bits. And, yeah, he's obviously got either a shitload of luck or amazing racecraft or a little bit of both. But he does seem to get his way through all the time.
Denny Hamlin was a bit like that, actually.
Denny made at one point, he's got like facing the sky, rode a wheel and had a fair shunt.
Yeah.
And then he came back did he end up 6th in the end, was it?
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
And he was kind of out of it. And it was one of those races, like pre-start 18th and won the thing. It really, typical NASCAR, you never know who's going to win it. But they were able to get through the field. Obviously, cars were getting dumped and spun. But, yeah, Hamlin was a bit of a surprise that he finished as high as he did after the contact that he had, because I'm sure something would have been bent.
Yeah, I don't know how Hamlin, like you said, come back through to, I was just referencing, cross-reference our notes to make sure I'm right, but he actually finished 5th in the end.
There you go.
Which he was another one, like you said, with Blaney, Blaney finished 3rd. Those two I felt like were in every incident. Blaney, to be honest, kind of snuck through without contact, but Hamlin was backwards, sideways on the infield. And he finished 5th.
It was interesting watching the race.
I mean, he beat Chase, and I don't reckon I saw Chase outside the top 5 all day.
No, correct, yeah. It's interesting watching because those that were a little bit nicer, it could take 4 laps to get a pass done. If you're hung out on the outside, it can take so long to either clear them or for them to clear you. And I felt like the Hamlins of the world, the Blaneys, they don't let it take more than a corner or two. They either tuck back in.
Yeah, true.
They just don't put themselves out. I I noticed a couple of times, I think Shane got hung out on one of the restarts. He picked the outside lane. He got hung out there, and that's when he lost the lead
Preece,
initially.
yeah. Yep.
And that was like 3 laps of like high risk for Shane because he's out wide. He's trying to stay in position, but the other guys are getting a sniff on the inside. And it's just so easy to get dumped, especially in those wet conditions. So I think watching them come through, they're quite quick at coming through because, I don't know, maybe they don't put themselves in those positions or they're just really clever of how they do it. Or, again, luck of the draw. It's who you're racing to, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because you race a Hocevar, you know you're going to have everything up your sleeve ready to go because it's not going to be an easy pass.
Yeah.
But then, you might come up against Bowman as an example and it might only take a corner.
Yeah. What about, though, so Hamlin, we talk about him coming through. Did you see the incident where he was in the air?
Yeah. Whose wheel did he ride there? He rode, was it Chase Elliott's wheel, I think?
Chase Elliott's wheel, yeah.
He got half, and they all sort of stopped and then he...
I think Logano got turned in that as well, and then Chase Elliott checked up and he ran over the rear wheel. But I'm like, look at that. I mean, I did see, I laughed in our Patreon. One of the comments came through on that and said, it's like watching Gen 3 supercars there with the wheel riding.
Firstly, I thought, I'm like, Scott's going to love this. We're talking about wheels tonight.
Yeah. Well, I watched it thinking, oh, man, I've been like glazing these wheels, just saying how good they are. And then they had that massive wheel ride. But I couldn't believe that thing survived.
Yeah, no,
that's why it's easy to talk about him coming through to finish 5th. How the fuck did that happen?
I mean, the next gen cars, they have said from day one, and we saw the chassis being built when we went over to the States. If you haven't watched our behind the scenes stuff, go check it out on YouTube. The cars are bullshit strong.
Yeah, they actually had to weaken them because drivers were getting injured.
They were the soft bit in the middle getting injured, yeah. So, maybe, yeah. But it did surprise. I was like, for sure, it's got a bent shock or the toes are out or something. And such a short, like you're turning the whole time. Surely that makes a difference.
You'd think so.
Sound check.
Oh, cheers. Austin Dillon, another one, facing the wrong way at one point. He finished up 7th.
Really?
So, like, I think it's funny when you get turned or whatever, these races, so much happens. Like we talked about the 17 cautions, was it? 17
cautions, mate, yeah.
200 laps. It went for, I mean, I checked the KO time at one point. It was 4 hours 40 it had been going for.
I said to you.
So if you get turned early enough in the day, though, it's just not over. Like, you can keep coming through. And I think that's what maybe we're learning when we watch and you go, how the fuck did Hamlin get to where he did? It's like, well, there were still 100 laps to go when he got turned or whatever. So I guess when it happens in the race is important. Like late in the race when we saw Connor Zilisch and Shane get caught up after Shane got turned, it's too late. With 20 to go, 30 to go, it's sad because you go, well, that was smaller than half the other stuff we saw, but it just happened at the worst time in the race to make a comeback.
And the waves that went into was first part of the race they sort of got themselves into single file and it ran quite a bit, green. They were getting laps, they were ticking laps over and I was like, oh, this is good. And then where that middle stint where there was cautions, they went for wet tyres, someone fucked up the calculation with fuel, which we'll touch on now, mate, and they had to stop and go, actually, we need to fuel everyone because we got Larson running out of juice, people are running out of fuel, and they're still like 100 laps from home.
Cole Larson, just on that, he finished 16th.
Yeah, and ran out of juice.
He stopped, he literally pulled up on the track, went in, got fuel, come back out, finishes in P16. Like, he beat Shane. Shane only got turned at the end of the race, and he still finished behind
How does that
Larson.
work? Surely he went laps down when he went and got a can of fuel while everyone else was running around.
I have no idea. I don't even know how that actually works.
I don't know how that. Someone will tell us in the comments how that's possible, but
that is actually quite funny, isn't it? Shane runs second, gets turned once, finishes 20th.
he got dumped early though, didn't he, Shane? Or he got shuffled back?
He got shuffled back early.
Yeah.
Because I text you actually in the first 100. So the way the race works too, I should have said in the format, it's a 200 lap race. You're not allowed to do pit stops or anything like that because there's no pit lane. So there's no safe way to exit or enter the track. So what they do is that lap 100, you stop, change tyres, add fuel, and then go again, but not enough. Not enough. But you're not allowed to.
So they weren't.
You're only allowed to change tyres, aren't you? At the 100.
So
I'm pretty sure.
The problem was like Hocevar, when it was wet, went to put slicks on, but the track hadn't been declared dry.
Yeah, but that was late. The only time you're allowed to change tyres is in that 100 lap break.
Yep.
So at 100. Other than that, it's only for extreme circumstances like going from dry to wet or wet to dry.
Damage or something.
Yeah. Or you've blown a tyre and got a puncture.
Yep.
But it is actually insane that Larson finished 16th after he got turned, I reckon, 3 times. At one point, they were like, did you see the shit hanging off his car? The whole side skirt was off. He hit the outside wall. Yeah, then he runs out of fuel, so he's a lap down. He got back on the lead lap, and he finished 16th. I mean, there's no points, so it doesn't really matter, but it does show how these guys on these long races can still get themselves back in and score points on the day where their points are up for grabs. One
positive of a 5-hour, 4-hour race, whatever it was, is it's not over till it's over. But a little bit frustrating for us back home watching, because at one point, I think it was 45 minutes I was watching, and there was like 3 green racing laps, and I was like, fuck. And then I had to go off and do something. I had to come back and rewatch it. And so, yeah, it can be a little bit tedious.
It is a bit of a challenge, I'll be honest. I agree with you. I mowed the lawn I had the race on, and they were under the caution in the middle where they were deciding whether they were going to go green or not. And I've got my partner for my birthday bought me those glasses with the speakers in them.
Oh, nice.
So I'm like, I went home and, mate, I'm thinking, surely I'm going to get like 2 lines of the grass done and they'll be back to racing. I mowed.
So you had a busy day today, mate. You're mowing the lawns during the day.
Mate, I had an eye specialist this morning. I had the doctors. I did the lawn. But I was laughing because I mowed the lawn, did the seeding, did the fertilising and watered the grass, then came back to work and there was about 6 laps they completed. And I thought, fuck, how do you stay on the couch for that? You know, like the commentators, it's a battle. I don't know how. That for me today was the racing was all right. But the race was a bit of a shambles, and like you said, there was a long period where nothing happened.
Yeah, it had good racing in there. It's just over a long period of time. Yep. A lot of cautions, a lot of dicking around.
And when I was fertilising, I was listening, and they just kept talking about how good this wet tyre is, how much traction it's got. Like, it's surprising how much grip the tyre's got. And they're the best drivers in the world, I heard Kevin Harvick say. And then I was like, I must be missing something. So I pulled my phone back out, look at the screen. I'm like, there's no standing water. I'm going to Google top speed at Bowman Gray. 64 mile an hour. I'm like, they race fucking sprint cars at 100 mile an hour in the dirt. But I'm like, why are they not going racing here? I don't see any reason why they didn't get out on track while it was still wet.
No, I agree. I mean, we've argued, and it's not new to most, but we've argued on that with supercars calling races or calling sessions because it's wet and stuff. You're like, you got the best blokes in the world on wet tyres, drive to the conditions.
Well, at 64 mile an hour, they will get in their road cars and drive home
faster
on the snow and the ice and the rain quicker than they would do at Bowman Gray on a wet tyre. And they're saying, no, it's not safe to go racing.
Yeah, and you got fans that are literally braving the snow out. They're like, put a show on, guys.
That was, yeah. So, and I actually thought I was watching the race thinking, if this was in Australia and we started the season with a race that had that many issues, like the car's running out of fuel it's a little bit embarrassing. Like we went over and we actually saw how unbelievable the facilities were. There are 400 or 500 staff at some of the teams, the money and the investment going into it. And then they got cars pulling out of the races halfway through because they don't have enough fuel in the car.
Well, and they don't have the ability to do fuel during the live race.
Yeah. And I get the circuit doesn't cater for it, but it's not a good look. When you're starting the season, I was like, man, if this was supercars, the fans would be like, because we got some pretty brutal fans, they'd be roasting the category. Rightly or wrongly, there's challenges that you can't change, like we're saying with the pit lane that's not there. But yeah, starting your season, I was like, oh, this is not a good look. When cars are running out of fuel on the infield, and the commentators were like, surely he's not out of fuel, is he? Like, because when they heard Larson say, I think I might be out of fuel. And then they're like, fuck, how much? And then they said as well, so like, it was like the commentators were working out why people run low fuel.
Yeah.
And then they're like, so how much per lap is that actually worth? Like, the risk they're taking, is it worth it? But then they said that they had ran 133 laps under caution and they had only done 152 green. It was just a shit show. Hunters, I just want to take a moment to thank one of our fantastic supporters, Shaw & Partners Financial Services. Shaw & Partners are a leading national investment advice and wealth management firm. They act for and on behalf of individuals, institutions, corporates, charities, and family offices. So, if you're looking for advice or assistance with investments or strategies, look no further than Shaw & Partners Financial Services. With a 35-year history and 8 offices strategically placed all over Australia, their financial advisors are within reach and ready to provide tailored solutions and advice. For more information, follow the link in the description of this podcast. Back to the show. One thing that it did blow me away with the race still is these bump and runs, no penalties. We talked about how there's no penalties in NASCAR, so you can love it or hate it. It's the worst when your favourite driver gets bumped. But what do you think about the Chase Elliott and Ty Gibbs incident where Chase got in the back of him, but Ty actually managed to hang on to it and rejoin, losing one spot?
Yeah, it was very Chase Elliott-esque, mate. He seems like a nice guy. But, yeah, for those that didn't see it, Chase turned Ty. Ty was around the front of the car, and then you just see Chase is sort of straightening back up, hit his front wheel, straightening back around. So very unlike NASCAR that when someone gets turned, normally they're in the stands and they're off in a pile of smoke, but Chase did the right thing. It was early days in the race too. He checked him up, straightened him back up. Actually, Shane benefited from that a little bit and managed to get a spot or two up on the grass on that. But as you said, mate, like Ty got away with that one there and he only lost one spot, I think, out of it. And they got to fair bump play on. So that was the first of many bump and runs that we saw, and there was a fair bit of elbows out throughout the whole race. But
I guess the low speed means, like, typically they're doing 200 mile an hour, not 60 mile an hour, or even in that moment they're doing like 40.
Yeah.
So I guess it's different where you can spin someone and then
just stop.
You can actually pull up and let them rejoin. But you're right about Chase Elliott, actually. I haven't seen any controversial or like moments where he's upset someone. He actually seems like one of the, I mean, I could be wrong here. I could get roasted, have like a bunch of comments come in saying all these times he's upset everyone. But, but has he wrecked anyone really recently? He's not the guy I think of when, like, you look at Briscoe. I mean, Briscoe, he's a bit of a, he uses the nose a lot. But Elliott seems to just have a straight race car every time. Yeah,
I think Chase to me just seems like, I said, we could get absolutely toasted here in the comments, but he seems to me like just a hard but fair racer. Very fair. You know,
it's going to be comments referencing like 30 times he's been a prick.
I can't remember recently him doing what I would say would be a stupid move or anything that's like overly aggressive.
Yeah. What about one thing coming out of like last year? It really looks like Suarez has got a bit of a chip on his shoulder. But him and Bubba banging under safety car has to be one of the coolest things ever, right? Like, the coverage of that is hilarious. It was after they had stopped. I think it was the last time they'd come in the lane where, embarrassingly, NASCAR had to let everyone fill the tanks up with fuel and get back racing. And obviously Suarez and Bubba had something happen that pissed the two of them off, and they were into each other. But that was that was one moment I think that for me was fucking hilarious.
You know what I love about Bubba Wallace? Bubba don't take no shit.
He definitely doesn't.
I mean, you think back to when he got out and tried to fight Larson.
Yeah.
You know, he's not afraid to use the side of his car, the front of his car, the back of his car to let someone know what he's thinking. So that deal with Suarez, totally agree with you too. That whole race seemed like Suarez might have had a chip on both shoulders because he was driving like a pissed off teenager from fucking lap one.
You wouldn't see that here. Like in Australia, if you bump someone under safety car, you're license, you're done. Like they wouldn't even want you to come back. But to see it under safety car, and like they just let it go, and I love it. I'm like, the only people that are losing out of that are the two people involved. So if they're dumb enough to do it, I think let them do it. It's entertainment, and they're the dickheads that are going to end up with bent race cars for like very minimal return on investment.
For us at home, there's nothing to gain out of it, but you're just going to feel a little bit better because you've body slammed the car next to you while you're doing 10 mile an hour. But for those that didn't see it, Bubba and Suarez rolled out under caution. Bubba brake checked him a few times. They were sort of swerving each other, and then Bubba just sort of giving him a bit of a hip and shoulder down the back straight to say, "Oh, fuck you."
Yeah.
So that was pretty entertaining. I actually enjoy seeing that, or it's entertaining watching that stuff under safety because you know, as drivers, you know how much they're fucking blowing up in the car. Like we've all been there where you're just like, it wouldn't matter who's talking to you, you are just out of your mind angry.
Yeah. Even on the
so that stuff's kind of, when it's not you, it's kind of funny to watch it. You're like, oh, this guy's having a shit fit in that car, you know? Like,
yeah, if you're wondering what it's like when someone is sitting in the right lane and you wish you could just turn them.
Yeah.
That's the frustration you feel. You're like, you sit in the right lane or in the fast lane and under safety car, like it does feel good though. Like
I think we've all probably done it. And it does make you feel better until you get out of the car like, I've got to fix that nose now.
I don't think you can ever settle a score under safety car. You might be able to make yourself feel a little better.
You can let someone know you're pissed off. Like I've done that a bit. Like you can let people know, oh, fuck you. Like
but that's about it.
You wronged me back there or whatever, but you can't really send them properly.
Yeah, exactly.
Without losing your license or getting dragged up to the principal's office.
The next one is Logano and Chastain into Blaney, into Bubba.
Yeah, so poor little Bubba didn't get any better for him. Bit of a concertina effect there, being such a slow, short course. Yeah, Logano into Chastain then into Blaney into Bubba, turn Bubba around. Shit sandwich. There's stuff going on everywhere.
I think Bubba's name's just good as well, isn't it? When you're rolling out these
So
incidents.
fun to say,
Bubba Gump Shrimp.
Bubba. It is good.
It was an unfortunate night for him. But the thing that blew me away, I didn't actually know the Cup Series cars run the same wheels as our Gen 3 cars.
First thing I saw when I saw this happen to Hamlin, and we'll talk about this in a second, I'm like, Scott for sure is going to want to talk about wheels tonight.
Yeah, did you see Logano wheel ride Chase Elliott?
Hamlin.
Who did I say? Logano,
but that's okay.
Sorry, it was
Hamlin.
Logano though that was up the road that had spun and caused the concertina.
Yeah.
And Hamlin ran up the back of Chase Elliott. And I couldn't believe it because the first time I've been raving about how good the Cup Series cars are for not wheel riding, being able to, like we saw it when Blaney was on the inside of Preece on the start. They're able to rub door to door and the wheels never interlock, which I think is something we're trying to achieve here in supercars. We're trying to change wheels and things in the future. But yeah, that usually they can rub. And somehow Hamlin's thing caught the rear wheel of Elliott's and just fucking flew.
Well, I think the problem is with that scenario is, side-to-side action, their wheels are great.
Yeah.
They won't, but because the way it was, Hamlin was on the back, probably that car...
Chase Elliott's
car might have had some rear damage and the guards pushed in and he's just been able to grab that tyre. So it was probably tyre over tyre more so than wheel. So we won't shit can their wheels just yet. We'll wait and see what happens for the rest of the year.
It might have been tyre to tyre, yeah.
But I couldn't believe that Hamlin's thing kept going and he finished fifth after that. Like he skied it, dropped the thing back down. I'm like, that's bent for sure. I sort of stopped watching where he was running after that and I was just focusing on the other cars, but then he sort of come back through. So
yeah, one finishing fifth. We talked about it a bit earlier, but like, I don't understand how that thing went that high in the air, rode the wheel, and didn't have something bent on a track that for 14 seconds you're spending like 80% of the time turning.
So, I mean, they are a strong race car. So, I mean, that kind of proved it again, the fact that he was able to keep going and have a top 5 finish. Pretty remarkable.
That brings us to our new segment, Barber. Woo. Denial of the Week. Presented by 4-Wheel Drive Outdoor Supercenter. Much like us, they started out with the intention and goal of disrupting the market, and they've certainly done that. Their mission is to bring down the cost of overpriced outdoor gear and make quality equipment more affordable.
They're also an Australian-owned business that's managed to cut costs by removing the middleman. They run their own supply chain to keep prices low, which ultimately means the customer saves money.
And they even do their own R&D right here in Queensland, making sure the quality meets Australian standards.
Doesn't stop there, mate, because 4-Wheel Drive Supercenter have also introduced wholesale pricing to every customer. All you have to do is buy 4 items in one purchase and you get wholesale pricing.
Well, if you'd like to look at some of the goodies on the 4-Wheel Drive Outdoor Supercenter's website, I'll pop the link to their website in the description of this podcast. So take a look, get yourself something nice. Now, it is time for the Denial of the Week, presented by 4-Wheel Drive Outdoor Supercenter.
That's my drum roll, guys.
Bubba Wallace taking out Hocevar.
Wowee. I mean, we've mentioned Bubba a lot. He had the boxing gloves on all night. And, I mean, we've talked about you're a big Carson Hocevar fan. It's kind of hard not to be if you like hard racing because the guy just lays it out there every weekend.
I didn't think anything Hocevar did was that bad. For especially like getting turned, I mean, it didn't result in him in the fence, but it went on for a lap. And Hocevar was aggressive, but
again, I think Bubba had had enough.
Yeah,
and he's gone, fuck this. I want to go home. I'm over this. So if you didn't see it, yeah, about a lap's worth of side by side, bit of bump and grind going on, all good fun stuff. Carson kind of got across the nose, and then Bubba's got into him and just, rather than lift, just sort of sent him off into the infield. From both parties, to be honest, it actually didn't look that malicious from either end. Like, I don't think Carson blocked that hard. I don't think Bubba really hit him that hard, but just with the way it went. But it looked pretty spectacular, and it certainly looked like he got sent out of the way. I don't know if behind the wheel there was that much in it, but with how Bubba's day was going, it probably wouldn't surprise me if he just thought, I'm not lifting here. He can just go into the grass. Yeah,
I don't know how they are so good at turning people with like minimal touch. Like just...
They're artists, mate. They are Picassos of denials.
Yeah.
They are just, as you say, even at like, and okay, this race at Bowman Gray is quite slow.
Yeah.
But we'll see it next week at Daytona at 300k an hour, and they're just just kissing. They know exactly where the nose of their car is. They know exactly how they're going to upset this car. Even to the fact where they do it without even touching the cars and just pulling air off people.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Like,
yeah, they know where to position the car to reduce error on the car in front.
They're just, it is an absolute art form.
They get to practice it, though, without penalties.
Well,
So, you do, if you're racing the Cup Series for, say, 10 years, you get pretty fucking good because you can do it without any consequences.
correct. That's what we're
Imagine how good it'd be if I could take someone out each week and not get in trouble for it. You get to hone your skills 36 times a year.
You'd get pretty good at it
You'd
too.
get
I wish
pretty-
we were racing 36 times a year too, mate.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, there you go. That is a segment I actually want to keep going. So, denial of the week.
Yep.
Send them through to our social media channels, Apex Hunters United on Instagram or Facebook. If you see a clip of someone, it can be a wobbler doing something.
Even if it's your own, if you
Yeah, self-nominate.
Yep, self-nominate. You got some in-car of you doing something that is worth a laugh. Send it through.
I hope you're enjoying this episode, but I do have to interrupt just quickly to thank our fantastic supporters that allow us to create the content for you. East Coast Car Rentals. If you're in the market for a rental car, think of those guys. And if you'd like a cheeky 15% discount, AHU15 is the discount code there for 15% off. If you're in the market to buy a car, not rent one, Lancaster Motor Group, we've got you covered for new or used cars. So think Lancaster Motor Group. Quadlock, fantastic supporter of our podcast as well. We use their products every single day on the pod using their desk mounts here. Also, we've used them to create the additional content like we did the Adelaide Motorsport Festival using their action camera mounts. So whether it's mounts, phone cases, they've got you covered. Quadlockcase.net. Now, the website for all of these brands that support us will be in the description of this podcast. Back to the show. Now, Connor Zilisch had his first race of his first season being full-time. He's done Cup Series races before.
Yep.
What's your verdict on him, and how do you think he went, varying conditions and the like, and had to qualify to make the race?
Yeah.
So what was your verdict on him for his first race?
I wasn't surprised, mate. I think we've talked about it on other shows before where I think we're both fans of Connor. I think we both see the talent that he has behind the wheel. I thought it would have been a real relief for him to make it in via qualifying and not have to do the qualifying races.
Yeah.
So that was first. If I'm Justin Marks or I'm Trackhouse, that's my first tick of the box. Job well done, mate. You've done the first thing you needed to do. It's an exhibition race. There's no points, so it didn't really matter how he finished, but I thought that probably meant a lot for him and probably for the people that have backed him. But I thought he ran all right. I thought, like, there was times there where he was running up the front quite well. I thought he raced pretty hard with some. I saw him racing pretty hard with some of the real veterans of the sport, some of the hard heads, and he sort of held his own. He kind of got caught up in some of the shit when Shane got dumped at the end there. That sort of
that ruined his race, actually.
that ruined his race because Shane spun around the rear of Shane's car, hit the rear of Connor's car, so that stuffed him up there. But I thought, mate, he did a good job for sure.
It'll be interesting to see how he goes throughout the season, because one thing I picked up on in one of the press conferences earlier in the week, they said, what's one thing you want to focus on this year and try and improve on? And he did say that he said, making sure I stay hungry. Because last year it was a given that he'd rock up in the junior motorsport rig and it was fast, and in Xfinity it was probably easier. Like, as junior drivers, you're all, you come through the ranks and you win, if not every week, you get a win every second week, and you might get to the Cup Series and it takes a long time. But I think what he's saying is in the junior formula, it came so easy.
Yeah.
He probably struggled at points to stay hungry, and that motivation might not have been there to just look for the extra 1%.
Yep.
So saying that is good, but at the same time, it kind of raised a red flag for me, because I'm like, man, at what is he, 18 years old?
He's young, yeah.
If
19.
you've got to find a way to make sure you stay hungry at that age, I'd probably say, like, maybe he should have gone down the F1 route and tried to make that. Because if he's looking at, 20 to 30 years in the Cup Series and he's starting his rookie season and one of the things he wants to focus on is staying hungry, I don't know. I thought it was an odd...
You should be at that age, mate. You've just been given a cup ride, great team. You're living the dream. Like, you should
Starving.
be. You should be famished. Like, there should be no question. And look, we're not saying, maybe just what he said he might not have meant, maybe it's out of context or whatever. But it is an interesting statement for someone so young.
Yep.
That's, seemingly on top of the world right now with. That's every professional driver's career is at that age to get a chance to go to the pinnacle of the sport that you've chosen. He's chosen stock car racing, and he's made it within 2-3 years.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So that's interesting. But for him, it will be interesting, I think, because, he's fast. He's just mentioned this thing about potentially being hungry enough. He's got a lot of hype around him. Like heard on the comms, Kevin Harvick's talking about, everyone's keen to see how he goes. There's a lot of hype around this kid. He could be the next Jeff Gordon, all this shit that's getting blown up in the background. So the mental side of it, I think this year will be really interesting. I think seeing how he handles that, because the Cup guys aren't going to care who he is, what he's done in junior formulas. They don't give a shit.
No, and they've achieved more anyway.
Correct.
Like, they're the big dogs.
And that's something to them. He's literally just some kid that's rolled in and won a couple of Xfinity races. They've all done that in the past. They've all been the top guy. That's why they're all there.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see the mental game. I think the dynamic between him and Shane will be interesting. Road courses, Connor's obviously really, really good at too. That'll be interesting to see how those two pair up. I think I'm actually looking forward to that, because I think it's going to make Shane grab another gear, which should make everyone else even more worried. I think it'll be interesting. Your thoughts, mate?
Yeah, I hate when journos take one thing someone says and blow it out of proportion. So I don't want to do that. Like I want to believe that it was just something he said, and
good thing you're not.
It doesn't mean anything. No, but when drivers are like, we get afraid to say stuff because you're like, oh, it's going to be taken out of context.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to. That's definitely not going to be the headline here. It's just hearing that I thought is an interesting thing to say.
Especially for someone that young.
You're a rookie. Yeah, I didn't think trying to stay hungry. And I get what he's saying. Like, I think he's had so much success. Trying to find the 1%ers is hard, I guess, because it's so easy. But I actually don't think it's going to be a challenge to stay hungry, because, like you said, the competition when he gets to the Cup Series now is going to be so hard. And he's at Trackhouse, a decent team, but still not Hendricks or Gibbs or those guys. So it's still going to be, I think the challenge could be good for him. It could be a bit of a reality check, and then that might make him go on to great things. So, I'm probably talking about it more than it needed to be. It was probably a passing comment he didn't think too much about, but it did stand out to me. But anyway, I thought he did a really good job.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing the road courses between him and Shane. I heard one interview Shane did as well, nitpicking another thing he said, where he's like, race week I get to have the week off when it's a road course, really, because it's been doing it forever, so these weeks are easy, and then he can focus on the following week more. It gives him like a 2-week prep.
Yep.
But I reckon this year it could be a little bit harder. You might have a guy that does make him have to spend the week prepping for road courses again, but it brings me to the point of road courses now. So the Chase, we recapped that in episode 98, the one prior to this one. If you want to check that one out so we don't have to repeat ourselves, that'd be amazing.
Go back, check it out.
But the Chase format's back. So the final 10 rounds, top 16 go for the championship.
Yep.
But I believe there's no road course in the final 10 rounds.
Yep.
And also they've cut from 6 back to 4 road courses, which for me, it does, it pisses me off a little bit, because it's a 36-round championship they race every week. So 6 road courses doesn't seem like too many when you have 30 ovals, and Charlotte was actually one of my favourite road courses. So I think to go and remove the Roval and place it back to being the oval is disappointing for me. So what do you think? You're a NASCAR fan prior to any of this podcast stuff we were doing. I've kind of joined NASCAR through loving road course racing, seeing our mate go over and do it. And then now, the road courses have got me to stick around for all the ovals, and I really like NASCAR now. But what do you think as someone who loved NASCAR traditionally?
Yeah, I think as a NASCAR fan, I think it's a shame. I think 6 was a good number. It's such a small percentage of the races they do. They're 36 rounds a year, races a year. So 6 really isn't a lot of their time. So from a fan, it annoys me because I enjoy watching. Yes, I love NASCAR, but I also love watching stock cars and NASCARs on road circuits. I think they move around. I think they're like a Trans Am car. I like that style of racing. And the other side, put the driver's side on, the opportunities it's given this part of the world for drivers to be recognised. What Shane's gone and done, Will Brown, Jack Perkins, these guys have been able to go and added value to us as circuit racers on this side of the world. I think that's a shame. They've brought in a new one, but even 2 months ago, I was talking to a truck team about going, because Shane, Will and Jack and all the guys that have gone and done it have just put such an emphasis on how much better they are at it. So teams are like, oh shit, if we want to run top 5, top 10, we'll go get someone from Australia.
Yep.
So I think it's a shame that those opportunities are going to be less for drivers on this side of the world. That annoys me. I don't really mind that it's not in the chase, but I think there should be 6. Like, I don't really care if it's not in the final 10 rounds, because the way the new system works, it's not as much of a, it's not winning in, it's over points. So if there's still 6 rounds and let's say Shane won all 6 again, he's going to have decent points anyway, right? And then it's up to him to go do his thing. I think it's a shame Chicago's gone. I like that circuit.
Yeah, that was great.
Mexico, whatever. I can take it, leave it. That's fine. It's a shame that it's 4. So the 4 road courses that they're going to have next year is Circuit of the Americas in Texas, Dakota. Great track. That's a little bit funny, that one, with the whole, like, how much track they use and stuff. But anyway, we'll get to that when they race it.
Yeah, I don't know. They're track limits. And then you see people get penalised for track limits. On, like, there's like 2 corners on the track.
Yeah.
You don't cross those ones, but everywhere else,
Fair game.
Drive to the entry gate if you like.
Watkins Glen is back. Awesome. San Diego is a new one. That's the one that you may have seen the video they did around the Army base with some of the Cup drivers. That's going to be really cool. And then Sonoma, which is awesome. So they're the 4 they're going to run. Shame there's not 6. Wish there was more. I think they say, you know, the diehard NASCAR people say, oh, it's boring. That's bullshit. It's not boring. Some of the best races, some of the best finishes happen.
Well, they had to bring stage racing in for a reason.
Correct. And that was for ovals, right?
Come on.
So,
let's not say that, like, every motorsport race can have moments where it's boring. I mean, it doesn't matter what sport you're watching. There's games that aren't as good as other games.
Especially when you're watching people that are the best doing it.
Yeah.
Mistakes are rare because they're so good. And we see it with supercars. Sometimes, like that Bathurst, it was a snoozer. But holy shit, what Brock and Brody were doing, that last stint was amazing. And the whole field, because no one crashed, no one made mistakes, because they're good at what they do. So sometimes you get that. I think I just think it's a shame. I think that, you know, NASCAR are talking about they need to bring in more fans. I don't think this is going to help them, because I think the fans from other parts of the world enjoy circuit racing because it's more what we're used to.
Yeah.
You've just reduced that. So you're reducing your international fans that are probably going to hang on and watch oval races.
Yeah, definitely.
So to me, if they're wanting to engage with more fans and new fans, it's a bit of a strange tactic. I think you said, mate, like they're trying to bring the diehards back. But to me, the diehards are already watching and they're going to sit through a road course anyway. They'll piss and moan about it on social media, sure.
Yeah.
But they're probably still watching. So they're not actually going to boost their numbers from their original diehard fans by cutting 2 road courses.
Yeah, I think one thing I noticed with the sport is a lot of the loudest voices are traditionalists, like with Dale Jr. And I think that their voices are so loud that they hold a lot of weight. And I think when they're talking about the road courses not being in the blood of NASCAR, there's a lot of things about, say, Formula One that if you're a traditionalist, like, you know, an old school fan from the 90s, 80s, you probably see Formula One today and there's a lot of things you wouldn't like, but you still appreciate your sport's being loved by more people than it was in the 90s or the 80s. And that's something I think NASCAR is like you said, they're excluding maybe international fans because NASCAR is such a niche. Like it really is, like literally turning left 30 times a year is a lot. So just adding in the 6 to make it a little bit more palatable to people that don't normally watch oval racing or don't understand it and therefore take the piss out of oval racing, because we're seeing, like, we're getting educated. I am. Every time I watch it, I see the challenge. Like when you rate someone as high as we rate Shane, you see him go into an oval race. Speaking of Marcus Ambrose, the amount of respect we have now for the oval races is great. But to the general fan of motorsport, they see oval racing that don't understand it and they say it's boring. They just turn left. How hard can that be? And I'm learning as I go exactly how fucking hard that is. Like the conversations we have are great.
Yeah.
But I think you need to appeal to a broader audience if you want to grow the sport. And that's where I said to you, I think it was at the pub when I said, maybe their focus is just captivating the audience they used to have and making sure they get 100% of those people back and not worrying about the international demographic. But I think today with social media, I've said this a few times, we don't compete domestically anymore. It doesn't matter what sport you are or what podcast you are, you have to think globally because my nephew watches the NBA. He doesn't watch the NBL anymore. Whereas growing up, I had to watch the National Basketball League here in Australia. Whereas now with his iPhone, he watches international sport, loves the Premier League. Like he doesn't watch the A-League here in Australia. He watches the Premier League. Yeah. So NASCAR could actually reach a global audience if they just maybe, I think they've done a good thing removing and going back to the chase.
Yeah.
Because we're not bull sport. We don't need to have a final system. That's great. That's just motorsport, though. They've done something that appeals to every motorsport fan. But I think removing some of the road courses and definitely not having them in their final system, you're excluding millions of people that might, like I have, sat down and watched some of the road course races and gone, fuck me, these guys are like, this is good racing. The cars are awesome. I love the rule system where they can play on now. It took me a while to come around to that. I think that's cool. And then I stick around for the ovals. And now I watch every NASCAR race. I watch 36 races a year.
And that's the point I was just going to make. What it does, mate, is since Shane's gone there, how many viewers do you reckon have spiked from Australia and New Zealand back in NASCAR? It was the same when Marcus was there, right? Heaps.
Yeah.
So when they take these road courses out, they're actually taking now the ability for other drivers to get rides like Shane did based on there being 6. So then, okay, we're not going to have a Japanese driver's going to come in now and going to boost the numbers from there, or Europe or whatever, because now the weight of a circuit specialist is less again.
Yeah.
So, you know, guys
even what Trackhouse did, you appealed, you dragged in a team that was prepared to invest a lot of money because they had a strategy. Obviously, the championship format changed, which weakened that strategy a little bit. But you still got a guy that could have gone and won, you know, a bunch of races. But the one thing that stood out to me tonight at the pub when we had dinner, you said it might have been a little bit different if an American or say Kyle Larson won every race.
Yeah, 100%.
And I actually think when I sit down and watch the US podcasts, I really do think they would celebrate that driver as just being amazing. And I don't think they would have been like, these races are boring because the same guy keeps winning. They would have just been like, how good's this? Like Larson's won the last 5 or 6 road course races.
We've seen it before in the past with NASCAR, you know, Dale Earnhardt Sr., Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, all these guys that dominated. Jimmy Johnson won 7 championships. They didn't change the ovals. They didn't change anything.
I guess they tried to change the format to stop it.
Well, so I do think
But there's specialists on ovals as well, and they don't try and change those. Like Josh said on our podcast with some of the tracks that some drivers have more success at particular tracks than others in terms of like short tracks and super speedways.
Yeah, like I do tend to think if across the 6 road courses, if Kyle Larson won 3, Christopher Bell won 3 as an example, just because they're 2 good road course races, I don't think there would have been as much kicking and screaming going on. I do think NASCAR is a little bit upset that someone from a small little island next to Australia was able to come out on debut and drive a stock car after never driving one and smoke them all, and then go and smoke them all last year to the point where he had food poisoning and still dusted them by like 30 seconds in Mexico.
Yeah, I think 17 seconds he won with the shits.
Yeah, there you go. And the bloke needed a bloody bag under his seat. So, I think they're a little bit upset by that.
Yeah.
And I definitely think that that's added noise to the whole environment. I don't think it would have been as bad. They might have taken it out of the final series, but I don't think there would have been as much noise or as much care about it.
Let's finish on that note.
I like it.
Cheers, everyone. Thank you. If you haven't subscribed, there's like 50% of you that listen to our podcast that haven't subscribed.
Well, would you hit the button, please?
So like and subscribe and share it to your friends and tell everyone about Apex Hunters United. And we'll be back for another podcast next week. Peace.
See you at the bar next week. Ciao.